Hi, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is
Life with Twins.
So on last week's episode, we talked about everything leading up to an IUI. What does IUI stand for?
Intrauterine insemination.
So what we wanted to do on this episode is we wanted to take some time to explain not only the process of it, but also the medicines that you had to have and the dosages and the side effects that it had on you. So seeing as you were the one that went through it all, why don't you take it from here?
I wasn't so lucky to have your part of it, Ben. So for the IUI, as you guys know from our last episode, we were very excited to finally have some medical help. So we were very eager to start the whole process. We went into the doctor's office. So basically you start your cycle and then you let them know and they send in a script for medication. So we started off on 50 milligrams of Clomid. The doctor gave us the option of either doing Clomid or Femara, both of which stimulate your ovaries to produce mature eggs. And the goal is to produce more than one. So basically, with Femara, she told us that it's not FDA approved for fertility, although they've been using it for quite some time, but that it may also cause some birth defects. And so with that, we decided to stick with Clomid in the beginning. So I was on 50 milligrams of Clomid, which I took from day 3 to day 7, and I did a lot of Googling research, and my Google research told me that Clomid causes lots of hot flashes, and so they recommended taking it at night to hopefully sleep through your hot flashes. Mm-hmm. And so I started taking that at night, and on the first day I didn't really feel anything. I don't think I had enough in my system, but then it eventually caught up to me and I was having hot flashes like I was a postmenopausal woman. It was insane. And I feel like now I have a taste of what menopause is going to be like. But not only did I have hot flashes, but it was peak summer.
That's right. It was.
End of July, early August.
We're in Arizona.
Yeah. With 120 degree temperatures. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, your whole, it's not like all of a sudden you just, it feels hot. No, your body literally gets a wave of heat on the inside where you feel like you are burning internally and you are just, dying of heat.
So it's like when you have, a fever and you, feel like...
I guess, kind of. Oh. But more intense.
Oh, okay.
I just, I feel like my whole body was supposed to be red. It just felt, very uncomfortable. So you're in the heat of summer, mm-hmm. peak of summer. We were gracious enough to live with our in-laws.
I don't think that's the right terminology. I think
they were gracious enough. Yeah. We were gracious. Yeah. We blessed them with our presence. They were gracious enough to allow us to live there with them for 7 months.
Yeah.
While we were saving up for a house.
It was really wonderful.
Yeah. But I don't know why their house just feels so hot.
It does run hot. Well,
no matter what the temperature is set at, it just feels really hot in the house. And so I just remember, I would wake up in the middle of the night, just, not because of their house, but, because I would have a hot flash, but then I would also feel hot after the hot flash. And it was very...
very uncomfortable.
Very. And so, let's see... Cycle day 14, mm-hmm. we went in for an ultrasound, and I just remember feeling so excited, moment of truth, do I have a mature enough follicle? How many are there? Mm-hmm. This is great.
Yeah.
I go in and for the first ultrasound, and she looked at my right side right away, and you just see this big ball. Mm-hmm. I don't even know. It just looks very round and it looks big. And she was like, that's your follicle. And then she measures it and starts blurting out numbers that I honestly had no idea what it meant. And then she goes and looks at my left side to see if there's anything on my left side. And there was nothing. And obviously the goal of the medications is to produce 2 to 3
healthy follicles
every cycle.
Which should create 2 to 3 healthy eggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so then by having more eggs, it increases your chance of having a baby.
Right.
Theoretically, every cycle, naturally, you produce 1 follicle, which releases 1 mature egg.
Mm-hmm.
And so finding out that we only had the 1 felt very defeated. But I reached out to some of those that I knew who had gone through IUIs before, and they only had 1, and they got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, it only takes 1.
Right.
And I was like, we got pregnant once before.
Right.
This should definitely happen
Right.
because we're making it happen. We know when we're going to ovulate. We're going to send in the reinforcements at the right time. It's going to be perfectly controlled. We were very hopeful.
Very confident that it was going to happen that first time for sure.
I mean, I already bought a stroller and a car seat. Like, it had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so our doctor gave us the option of canceling the IUI because the goal was to get 2 to 3 follicles. We decided to keep it. Mm-hmm. We had been trying for a year. We took a month off for vacation. Like, I was not about to cancel this. And so that night at 9:30 p.m., Mr. Anthony had to give me a shot of the pregnancy hormone, or HCG. We did the injection at 9:30 p.m. at night on cycle day 14, and at 9:30 in the morning on cycle day 16 is when we did our IUI.
Yeah, because the intention of the shot
is to get it between that 36
to get you to ovulate
hours.
at a certain time. So that's why.
So the goal is by the time that egg releases, you'll have that reinforcements up there for them to meet. And so the day of the IUI, Anthony did the deed at the house. Sorry, in-laws.
Well, the thing was you had to have the sample there within like 30-minute time frame. So they gave you the option to be doing it at
the office. But he was just like, everybody there knows.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too.
They know what I'm doing behind that door.
Yeah, that was super weird. And on top of that, though, it wasn't even like a private bathroom. Like, it was like an actual like doctor's office with like the bathroom outside. So it would have been like me next to just some guy like dropping a deuce, and that would have been disgusting. So I was like, no.
Yeah, because that office didn't have an actual room to make a sample.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm going to do this at home, and then we'll be able to
and
drop
then
there.
we rush it there, and they recommend that you keep the sample warm. So it's like tucked in your shirt, and you're just like trying to keep your swimmers warm. And then we carpooled so that way there wouldn't be traffic, and we'd get there in that time frame. And then we had to wait an hour. So his sample was dropped off at 8:30, and then the IUI didn't take place until 9:30. They had to evaluate the sample, make sure that everything looked okay, and then run it through the cleaner. I really don't know. So we just ate some breakfast, and then we went back to the office at 9:30, and we were pretty excited. Yeah.
I did wash my hands in between that and eating breakfast and that thing, so.
Just in case you weren't aware. What the heck? I did wash my hands. Well, I would hope so. Thanks. Anyways, the actual IUI is very straightforward. It's essentially like a pap smear. They use a speculum, and there's this very thin tube that goes through your cervix. I think my cervix was very stubborn, and so she had to use a clamp to hold my cervix in place to feed the catheter through. I don't know if that was the first one or the second one. I don't remember. But I know one of the times they did have to use that a couple of times. It wasn't like super uncomfortable, it just felt kind of pinchy. And then the actual insemination part wasn't uncomfortable at all. And so they take a catheter, and then they push the sample through, and then they're done, and they leave the room. They turn the lights off, they let you relax, and then they say in 10 minutes you can leave.
Yeah, you just wait there for hopefully to take, and then so it's not.
You
it's not
just like try to give time. I mean, theoretically the swimmers move so fast that they should be there within moments of pushing the sample through. But just to have that peace of mind, they tilt your body so that way your uterus is tilted up, so that hopefully they don't seep out, and then they just let you there, like lay you there for 10 minutes just to make sure that everything's going where it needs to go. And so that was it.
That was the first one.
That was our first one. And so then we had to wait 14 days exactly from that IUI to take a pregnancy test. And in those 14 days, I had to do twice a day vaginal progesterone suppositories, which were not very fun at all. I don't know what I would rather do, the Clomid or the suppositories. At first, the suppositories weren't that bad, but then after a while, I think the medication just really started to irritate my cervix, and so then it like started to hurt a lot. And so then finally we got to that 14th day, and the entire process, you're just, again, overanalyzing every single symptom, thinking that you're pregnant, going back and forth, like, oh, I feel like I'm pregnant. No, I'm not pregnant. I feel like I'm pregnant. No, I'm not pregnant. It really messes with you. And it feels like eternity getting through that 2-week wait. And then that day I took a pregnancy test and it came back negative.
Yeah, that was rough.
And that was really hard because, like we said, we had a lot of hopes in this first IUI, and even though it was only a 20% chance of it working, I felt like it was 100% chance because we had gotten pregnant before. So why wouldn't a little bit of help make us get pregnant again?
So yeah, that definitely was tough. But let's talk about like after that first one, next week, like after the first one, we'll talk about that next week, what happens and like how you go forward. And yeah, let's talk about that next week. But for now, like, let's just make sure for the people, the whole reason why we shoot this in the first place is for anybody that is going through,
or if you know somebody who's going through. I've had a lot of people reach out to me, asking for help with somebody that they know who's going through it, so it's not just for those who are actually going through it, but even if you have a loved one or a friend or, somebody who's going through it, and it just kind of helps you get a better understanding of
infertility,
what they may be going through, and kind of how to help them. So our goal and the purpose of us doing this is not to be YouTube famous, but is to share our journey with other people and provide knowledge and encouragement and support and guidance for those who are going through it. And we know what it's like, and so we want to be able to help others who are currently going through it or know somebody who's going through it.
Yeah. So it really does help a lot, honestly, when you guys become subscribers or you like the video, share, and when you guys do that, if you guys comment, it just helps in the YouTube rankings in order to help us get more popular. So that way more people. Yeah, we just want to reach more people so that way they can understand that they're not alone. This is the process that they'd have to go through. So for everybody that already is subscribed, we really do appreciate you. It's one of the reasons that motivates us to actually
keep going.
It is because
we have subscribers. We have to do another video.
So we hope that we're entertaining and we make you laugh sometimes, but we are here to help with those that are going through a tough time and hopefully make their process a little bit easier. So we thank you for all that you guys do and for watching. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week, every Monday, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So
and keep on the lookout for a little added pregnancy update video this week.
Yeah, this week we're going to do a little bonus episode for how you're currently doing with your current pregnancy. So we'll get to that. So anyways, we will see you guys next time.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I just feel you looking at me so angry.
With hatred? Yes.
Yes. Okay, let me do that over.
You would feel hatred too. I just wasted an hour of your life.
No, you got to spend it with me. Okay, stop. Professional. Look at the camera.
You professional. And then you probably won't be on next week's episode.
Are you gonna kill me?
Oh my gosh! Just shoot!
Are you ready?
Hi, this is Anthony, and I'm Nicole, and this is Life with Twins. This is how it's going to be next week, except I'm going to have a picture of you right here.
And seeing as you were the one that went through it, why don't you take it from here?
I wish I had your part. It's so easy.
It was not bad.
Not bad.
Not at all.
I'm sure you enjoyed it.
Kind of fun.
Okay, so...
I'll do it again.
I'm sure you would. Every day. So, as you can tell from our last episode, we were very excited about doing our first IUI. We... Stop looking at me like that! What's wrong with you? I'm just trying to shoot!
Every day?
Multiple times a day! Every hour if you wanted to!
Oh my god!
Taking me too exhausted after you did it every hour. You already take naps.